Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.
Freedom's the answer. What's the question? You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
Yeah! What are we fighting for here on Declare Your Independence of me, Ernest Hancock? Truth, justice, and, I don't know, whatever the American way used to be. What we're going to do is we're talking with Shawn Dow. Now, I just want to get an update before we get to Washington, D.C. and all the machinations going on there. I want to get an update on where we're at with Fountain Hills. Now, this, we tried to warn them what was going to happen. I don't think they believed it. We're just going, look, man, you guys really want to play this game? Well, obviously they do. And Allied Waste, they're in a situation where they're going, heck, man, we can soon get some money. We won't even have to pick up no trash. So that may be what happens. So what's the final result here? What do you think is going to go on?
Well, the final result will be May 17th. Well, it depends. With this lawsuit, they're seeking an injunction to prevent the town from voting. So that'll set precedent. I don't think that ever happened. You got people put up, an initiative to go on the ballot. I don't know how you can stop it. We've actually run across this about 15 times this year, where a private company has gotten an RFP with a town, and then the voters overturn that RFP and
is
a request for proposal.
Which is like a contract.
It's a contract. Okay. We deal with this in the photo radar all the time. The town puts up a photo radar. We do a referendum, get them to take down, and then the photo radar companies then sue the towns and cities because they say, you can't do this. The citizens are acting as unelected legislatures by doing this. So we've come across this before.
Well, that's in our Constitution.
Well, they don't care about the Constitution.
I know, but as long as they help me make it obvious, that's good. All right. So they're going to have the lawsuit, and it has to be adjudicated before they actually start printing ballots or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's going to something's going to have to happen. Normally what's been happening is the judges are saying, well, let's wait till after the election because it may be a moot point. You may win on the vote.
This is what's interesting is I'm wondering the mindset behind these people. Of course, it's always money, but they were very, very clear. They didn't give a crap what the people thought. And I bet they anticipated that you may get the signatures. It may go to the ballot. And then they already had lawyers drawing up stuff. There's going to be negotiations. And then, of course, who's going to determine whether they're going to settle or not? Well, it's going to be the city attorney that was behind this to begin with.
Correct.
So, I mean, as long as they just keep making it clear how scumbaggish they are, that's all good. But then, of course, it's going to cost the taxpayers in Fountain Hills. But they get a lesson. Now, we go to the election, and they had this other $30 million proposal they wanted to do for roads. And I heard them saying, we got too many dump trucks out or garbage trucks. They're messing up the roads. So we got to fix roads because of dump trucks, which is all crap, But the now we're looking at, they were saying they already had this special election plan to do this other bond that they wanted to do. And then they were complaining that you putting this up would cost, we're going to have to spend $50,000 to do this election. And you go, okay, well, just run it with this one. What one?
Exactly. Well, actually, I did sit down with some of the council members, and they asked if I was going to be coming out against the road bond because they were afraid that people would vote down the road bond issue if it was side by side with the trash issue.
Yeah, probably.
No, definitely. There's no need for them to raise any money. We have a streets department that has a nice sized budget. They've been working fine on the roads for the last 30 years. Why all of a sudden do they need a $30 million line of credit that's going to actually end up costing double, $60 million, because you have to pay interest on that? Bonds are not, they're worse than taxes. It's taxes with interest. Yet they tell everybody, bond, it's not a tax, it's not a tax. It's worse. It is a $30 million credit card that you have to pay back over double. So I told them, there is no need for this. We're going to come out hard against it. And I guess they decided they were just going to stop.
Wow.
Temporarily, I'm sure it'll be in.
Yeah, they're not going away.
No.
Okay, so a lot of these bond issues, I tell you, this is one of the things that Meredith Whitney was making a point of. These municipal bonds, there's gazillions of them. The people that advocate for these aren't necessarily someone that wants whatever it is they want to do. It's like, you have a war. They don't care who wins or loses. They just want to inherit the debt of it. They just want to finance it. You're forever paying. They make the money on the debt. They make the money on the bond. They make the money on a continual stream of tax money that goes to them. And part of this, we had John Green come in, and part of this new jobs program thing they're trying to do here in Arizona, this economic development thing, it's all about bonding. And what they do is they say, if you have, or you can't afford to pay back this $30 million bond, the revenue sharing from the state, they send a letter to the state treasurer and said, they don't get their share of property taxes, sales tax, or anything else. The first money goes to pay the bond. Who writes this stuff? It's the bondholder guy. It's Goldman Sachs. You think I'm kidding, man?
No,
this is what happens.
Definitely right.
So now we're looking at this is going to be a while, maturing, and we still have fun with this, I'm sure. Now, what I want to do for the rest of this segment and going into the rest of the hour, let's go ahead and talk about you going to Washington, D.C. Now, how did that happen? What was your interest? What do you care?
Well, I got invited by the two Dr. Pauls, Dr. Rand and Ron Paul. For the first time in the history of this country, a father and son were sworn into the Senate and the House. I thought it was a very historic event, so we decided that we would pack up the wife and our family, and we'd fly out to D.C. and go to the Capitol and hang out with the two Dr. Pauls, and it was awesome.
Well, hang out where? Did they have a tent out on the lawn or what?
No. It was in the Capitol. There was they had reserved some rooms inside the Capitol. Many of the members of Congress and the Senate had reserved their rooms for their parties of being sworn in. By far, the two doctors had the largest parties. Everyone else only had 3 or 4. There was over 1,000 people in Dr. Paul's building.
Yeah. Well, what happens. They know where the party is. All the other representatives start, moseying in.
They did. No, they all came by to look and see what was happening and to join in on the excitement. It was a lot of fun. And then after the swearing in, there was another private party for mostly just the family members and things like that of Dr. Paul and his son Rand up at the one of the hotels up by the White House. And we went up there and we had a nice time, got to talk and chat and talk about the future and the past. It was a lot of fun.
Well, what were the conversations? What are they looking to do? I mean, you're right. We have a senator, one of 100. We have a congressman that's now going to be part of the committee that's going to kind of almost oversee Slap Around Bernanke when they get a chance. And so what is their main focus? I'm sure they had to have some kind of speech. We're going to what?
Audit the Fed. It was the top discussion among everybody at the parties, at the meetings. It was always about audit the Fed. From day one, they have already started to work on it. I think if I were Ben Bernanke, I'd be a little worried about that little old man from Texas beating him down.
I'm of the opinion that, whatever they tell us, I'm not going to believe anyway. But, the thing is that what difference will it make? Yep. They're really add a couple more really's bad. Now what? It'll be interesting to see. I'm glad they're there doing it. But there's so many other things going on. It's going to happen really fast. We'll talk more about the conversations there when we come back with Shawn Dow, straight from Washington at Paul's party. We'll be right back. This is Ernest Hancock. I'm publisher of freedomsphoenix.com and the radio talk show host of Declare Your Independence. Now, I want to give you my personal endorsement of a wealthy U.S. citizen that is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He's produced a video for you. It's a real eye-opener, and I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to watch it. www.endofamerica, the numbers 1 and 7.com. endofamerica17.com. This video has the history of how we got where we are now and where we're going and why. Now, it's a lengthy video. It'll be about 20 minutes, but you need to watch this so you understand what's going to happen to this country and how you can protect your wealth and even benefit financially. Now, you go there. It's free. I want you to watch this video. You need to have this information so that you can survive the economic collapse that's coming to America. It's not if, it's when. That's End of America, the numbers 1 and 7.com. After you watch it, you'll understand why I endorse it.